Hello everyone and welcome to From the Heart Friday with me, Jessica Brigden of JessBCreativeCardiology. Hello, happy Friday afternoon. It is a bit drizzly out. I guess that's typical of spring. It's good weather for a duck. Yes, I said duck, and there is Ziggy who's mad because it's raining out. So today we are using the charming Duck Pond bundle from Stampin' Up, along with the Lily Pond Lane Designer Series paper and the dappled dot embellishments. Perfect little suite for a spring cardigan. That's charming Duck Pond with dappled dots and the Lily Pond Lane collection. Hi Polly, hello. Glad to know that we've got some people jumping on live. I'm actually on time, right at 3 p.m. Eastern today. So I have a fun fold card for you today. We are going to be doing a 4-panel accordion card with some pop-up features. Oh, hello, my hubby who's popping in briefly. So we are going to do a really cute card to feature the Lily Pond Lane Designer Series papers and some cute little ducks in there. You could use this card template. Hi Doris, hello. Your order came and so I'll be dropping that off tomorrow. Doris gets a house call because she lives local. But yeah, so this card template, this 4-panel accordion card, you could use any designer series papers. It's a great way to feature. You can actually feature 3 different patterns here. And you can use punches or die cuts, whatever's easiest. I actually made this card. I have a video from November 2022 when I used the little Scotty dog punch and I made a similar card. So lots of ways that this can be used. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, let me flip the camera here. I've been doing some spring cleaning. How about you guys? Kind of going through things, and of course it always looks worse before it gets better as you start hauling things out. All right, so let me show this weekend. All right, so today is Friday the 11th. On Sunday evening, I will be closing out my last host code. All right, so this is your last opportunity to place an order with me using a host code. All right, so the current code is VWYNTMGW. When you enter that code in your shopping cart, when you're checking out, you'll be eligible for my free project tutorials, my workshop of the month kit, and if your order is over 75, you'll also receive a free embellishment. All of those goodies. And I'll also send you a copy of the brand new catalog. I have them in stock. They are ready to send out with all of those goodies. And of course, if you place an order with me this month, you will get priority on getting your catalog out first. All right, so hello. Hi, Luann. I better have enough adhesive on hand. So every time she watches live, I run out. Let's, oh, I'm getting down there. I see the little red line in my tape. So, you know what? I better make sure I've got a refill handy. A little going on joke there. All right, so yeah, so you can see here, this is from the retiring annual catalog, all right, the 24 to 25. The Lily Pond Lane collection is found here on pages 44 and 45. It's super cute if you like ducks and frogs and fish and lily pads and all those cool things. This paper pack is really neat. It is a 6x6 stack. All right, and this is all I've got left, but you've got some really pretty tropical, you've got some gingham. We've of course got lily pads and lots of ducks. All right, we've got some koi fish and some tropical flowers and some frogs. Lots of fun scenic images. Another similar paper in this style would be the otters. The Otterly Adorable kind of features this fun scenic patterns too, except that's a 12x12. So this is a 6x6. The charming Duck Pond is a bundle, and there are a lot of dies in here so that you can make all kinds of scenery. You've got the cattails and die cuts for the duck, which I'm going to show you how they coordinate with the designer series paper. All right, some sentiments. And I will give you a little heads up, because this collection is retiring, there are some pretty amazing specials on here. So it is a bundle, however, it is to your advantage to purchase the items separately. Okay, so the Charming Duck Pond stamp set is on sale for $16. The dies are on sale for $28.80. The fun dappled dots that I'm going to show you here, those are on sale for $6.40. And the paper pack, you get 48 6x6 sheets. That is on sale for $10. So the whole collection is on sale, which is pretty awesome. All right, so grab your paper trimmer or your scorer. All right, whatever you have handy. You could use either one for this. I think I'm going to show you with my scoreboard just so I can give you a full display all at once. So I've picked out some coordinating patterns because this is a 4-panel. So we're going to use 3 panels of designer series paper and then a panel of basic white so that we've got a place to write our sentiments. Okay, so you want 3 patterns. Of course, it is best to choose them from the same paper pack so they all coordinate, and you're actually going to catch a glimpse of all 3 patterns at the same time when the card is folded up together. So I wanted some scenery here, so I chose this pond. We've got mountains in the background, the cattails. I've got some pretty lily pads and the blossoms here, and then of course a smaller print which pulls in kind of the colors from the pond. Of course, you could mix and match, right? You could go with the koi fish. You could do anything, but I'm going to do ducks today. So we're going to do these 3 patterns. So our colors here, we've got some fun color patterns. We've got some balmy blue. We have some peach pie. We have pretty and pink, pretty peacock, and granny apple green. So of these, I wanted bright, so I'm going to go with granny apple green for my cardstock, and we're going to do our stamping in pretty and pink. All right, so those are the 2 colors that we're going to use today. All right, so let's get started with our card base. Now for this, you need a full sheet of cardstock at 8.5 by 11. Well, let me get this straight here on camera. All right, so you're going to take your 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock and you're going to cut it down to 5.5. 5.5 by 11. All right, so you're only going to get one of these per sheet of cardstock. All right. Let's see if Ziggy will actually go out so that she stops meowing on camera there. All right, so from your 8.5 by 11, you're going to cut that down to 5.5 by 11. All right, you're going to rotate it here, and on the long side, we are going to score it 3 times. This is going to create our 4 panels. All right, so our first score is going to be at 1.5. All right, your second score is going to be at 4 1/8. The third score is going to be at 6 3/4. And when this is all folded up, you have a standard A2 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card. Okay, so that's all the scoring. That's the trickiest thing to do there. Let's just make those 3 score lines. Okay, so next up, you're going to take your largest, your main panel of designer series paper. And of course, these were 6 by 6, so I cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. All right, and we are going to glue this on the largest panel. All right, so go ahead and glue your cardstock down 4 by 5 1/4. And if you like, you could even cut a panel of basic white, that same size, 4 by 5 1/4 for the back side. If you want, just flip it over and go ahead and adhere some basic white as well, you'll have lots of places to write your message, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna flip it back over here to the front side, okay? And from this, we're gonna work from right to left, okay? We're gonna work backwards here. On the second panel is our other piece of basic white, okay? And this is going to be 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so go ahead and adhere this. Of course, if you wanted to stamp on this panel, oops, see, I knew I was gonna run out of adhesive. You know, a tip here when you're cleaning it or adhesive, when you're changing it out, I just want to mention this because I had somebody was having trouble with their Stampin seal. It wasn't working just right. And when she handed me her Stampin case, I don't know if you realize, but you see how it gets kind of gooey and gummy and boogie, I call it boogie, around the top. When you take this apart, check the opening here of your Stampin seal, all right, because you discard the refill, all right, go ahead and toss that. But before you put a new one in, check your seal for boogies, okay? It's just a public service announcement here, all right? You see how we get little gummed up parts, all right? See that? Nobody likes a boogie, and neither does your Stampin seal, and that's gonna prevent your new tape even from running smoothly, all right? So just a little announcement there before you change out your tape. Make sure you've got a clean case, okay? All right, not a big deal, just do it, you know, you don't have to continually do it, but do it every time you change out your refill, and then you can continue to use that case for a long time, and that should help prevent issues from your Stampin' seal gumming up. Because what happens, if you get a big goo wad, you know, a boogie wad up there, then as your tape is running, it's going to get caught, and it's not going to, it's gonna like snag it, right? You don't want your Stampin' seal snagged on a boogie. So I hope that helps. All right, so we got that taken care of. Clean case, no boogies. All right, so we're adhering our white panel here, 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. No, nobody likes glue snot. All right, I'm glad you agree, Luann. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so on the next panel here, we are going to put some more designer series paper. This is going to be our second pattern. Now these two middle panels are the same size. All right, so they are both 2 1/4 by 5 1/4 for your layers. Now look, this one's got some pretty little dragonflies on it. That's really cute too. That would go really sweet with the little frogs. So whichever patterns coordinate with the project that you are making. Okay. Now check this out. Let's start to fold it up. Okay, we're gonna fold on our first score line. This is where the accordion comes in. So fold one way. All right, then fold the other way. Okay, you'll notice I did not put my third pattern here because what we're going to do, we're gonna fold this over. Ha-ha. All right, tricky. Fold it over and then adhere our third panel of designer paper. And this one is 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. All right, so let me go ahead and put my adhesive on this panel. All right, because this is a fun folded interactive card, I use a lot of glue because I want to make sure that it holds up to being opened and closed multiple times, okay? So here we go, all folded up nicely. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 is the finished dimensions. And when you unflap that, there you go. You've got your 4 panel accordion card here. Isn't that cool? All right, so we've got our base finished, and then on the back side, we've got a nice open panel. I mean, of course, if you are really wanting to write a full long letter, Feel free. You got lots of room there, okay? All right, so Doris is saying that card can use up all your strips of DSP. That's right. Actually, when I was going through my paper pack, because I don't have a full pack yet, I've been using this soap over the past year, and so I checked some of my, these were going the wrong, I wanted my card portrait vertical style, so these were going the wrong direction. Otherwise, I really do like the cattails. But yeah, so I looked at which pieces of designer paper scraps I had first. This one I could have used. This was the pink gingham, pretty in pink. So that would have worked too. That might have been cute. Yeah, lots of options there, but I keep them all together. All right, in a little 6x6 envelope here. Or I just got some cute little sleeves, plastic sleeves, reusable sleeves for 6x6 patterned papers. I need to put a link in those too. I've started an Amazon affiliate store so that I can share some of my favorite items. So I need to share that with you guys and add this to it. All right, so that's the designer series paper. That's the Lily Pond Lane paper. All right, now out of this paper, we've got two. I know these look very similar. They are different. Okay. One side has like a pink marble or dapple on it. And the other one has little duck tracks, little V's. All right. So they are two different patterns, but the Charming Duck dies. I am not a My Sweet Petunia affiliate because I still love my Stampin' Up! Stamparatus. So I have not gotten a Misty from My Sweet Petunia because honestly, one stamp positioning tool is enough for me. But if I ever do, then I will be sure to let you guys know. All right, so we have two full-size duck dies. One points to the right, the other to the left. Okay, and these do coordinate with some of the patterns on here. Okay, so this one, I already die cut one from here. Okay, so there's that one. And this one went over here. This one's got a couple of them you can die cut. There was one over here. And then we've got the cutest little duck, goslings, right? The little baby duck die. And this coordinates with these cute little ducklings. I guess a gosling is from a goose. So these are more like mallard ducks. So it would be a duckling. But yes, we have little die for the little ducklings too, so that you don't miss out. Even one of the cattail dies, all right, that even works on the cattail prints here in the designer series paper. All right, so you have got lots of images in this paper that you can die cut with these Charming Duck dies. All right, let's put these back in my case. All right, I'm not gonna do any cattails today, but I am using both sizes, the left and right. So I'm gonna call it the mama and the daddy ducks. All right, and the baby ducks. All right, so I actually pre-die cut some of those. So when you do that, aren't these the cutest little happy family? And you could cut out as many little ducklings as you want. Yes, Doris, I have been tempted by that glue gun. Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about because I helped Kylie and Bruno get one and took it on the last incentive trip for them because it was cheaper to have it shipped to me than it was to have it shipped to Australia. Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about. I might have to get that. Yep. All right, but we have our happy little ducks here, okay, from our little duck family. They're so charming here. All right, so we've got our little ducks on standby. And what we're going to do on this card, this is where it gets really cool. We're going to do a little pop-up feature on here. So we need 3 squares of cardstock, and I went ahead and used the coordinating Granny Apple Green. All right, you could make these any color. I thought about going with Pretty Peacock, but I'm gonna do my sentiment maybe in Pretty Peacock. All right, so 3 squares, and these are 1 3/4 inch each. Okay, 1.75. And then I have 3 squares of basic white. These are 1.5, 1.5. All right, so we're gonna glue these together. All right, layer your basic white onto your granny apple green. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. All right, we got our first 3. Now, the first one we're gonna start with, we're actually gonna glue to this middle layer, and we're gonna turn these on an angle. So we're gonna have little diamond points here. Okay. And what I want it to do, I'm finding the approximate middle here of the card. I'm gonna line up point to point along the seam here of my middle layer. And the left point just overlaps a little bit there. So I'm going to put adhesive on half of my triangle, just this left half of my triangle. All right, so that it adheres to that second layer. I don't want it to go too far because I don't want to glue my card shut. All right, so just adhesive on half. All right, so I made a little bit of a glue triangle there. So that half, again, find the middle, point to point. Okay, so tuck your point under just a little bit so it doesn't glue on that top layer. Okay, so if you did it right, your card opens and you've got this little flap. If you see that you've got any extra glue that runneth over, all right, use your finger or your adhesive remover. If you've got one of those adhesive erasers, and just gently wipe that off, okay? All right, so first one is in place and you're good to go. The next 2 are going to coordinate with it. I'm going to bump them up kind of edge to edge here. All right, line up your seams. And the first one, you don't want them to, it's not gonna overlap, but just, you could even leave a little space between them if you wanted to, okay? But the first one is gonna go out on the top. Oh, Doris has a good tip too. If you do not have an adhesive eraser or your fingers are just making a mess, that a dryer sheet works too. Hi, Phyllis. Hello, hello. Glad you caught us. All right, we're at the fun part here of our 4-panel accordion card with these cool pop-ups. Okay, so we've glued the first one on the second layer, second fold. All right, so now let's take these other 2, and again, we're only putting adhesive on the left half of the triangle because we need this to open, all right? No gluing our card shut here. And I wouldn't mention that so many times, except you know that it's happened, right? We don't get this far in our crafting without a few trial and error here. So again, make sure your adhesive is on half, and this is going on that top flap. Okay, get close. You don't want to overlap, but close. Okay, and that should, your card, by going at the 1 3/4 for the granny apple green squares, that ensures that they fit on your card, right? You don't want them hanging over the edge or it's not going to fit in your envelope. Okay, so that worked out good. No extra glue, and it folds. Yay. Okay, last one, third one. Again, make sure, okay, you just want it on the left. Okay, so, and this works the same whether you're using Stampin' Seal, Seal Plus, liquid glue, tear and tape, whatever your adhesive of choice. Okay, just make sure that you're only putting adhesive on half. Okay, so these are point to point. The edges match Perfect. We're on our card. All right, all those little security checks done. All right, just burnishing this a little bit, making sure that glue transfers. So now we've got these cool 3 panels, and actually I did this portrait style, right, vertically. So it goes like this. You could easily convert this to a landscape, a horizontal style, and have it be kind of a neat, like a neat little step card. Oh, that looks like a bird's face, doesn't it? All right, so depending on how you orient your card, right, you've got lots of little options there. And now we're going to use some dimensionals to adhere our ducks to the card. All right, that's pretty simple. So pop a duck here. Let's put a dimensional on his head and on his body. I think that's all we need. Okay. So he's going to go here on the left. Okay. And now let's see. I was thinking of having mama duck here. And actually baby duck could go down here with a sentiment. So should we go, we have a lovely day and hello friend. Which one do you guys think we should do? Let's, all right, get those in here. So we have a lovely day and we have a hello friend. Is this not the cutest card? And it's so simple. All right, it is a 4-panel accordion card. So we started with a sheet of cardstock that's 5.5. All right, we went 5.5 by 11 and then used some of these fun patterned papers. It really is, it comes together really simple. Okay, definitely case it. And I will try to link too. I made a video, it's from November of 2022. It's here on my channel. Actually, if you search on my channel, Scotty Dog, I use the Scotty Dog punch and the, something, Country Blooms, Country Blossoms. There was a specialty, a paper pack that I had used with it. All right, so do we have any votes? Do we want hello friend or have a lovely day? All right, looks like we've got 1 for a lovely day and 2 hello friends. Okay, so, and Doris is trying to sway everybody's opinion. All right, let me clean that block. Oh, I need to clean my blocks. Just like I mentioned, you guys need to clean your stamp cases. Clean your blocks every now and then, even if it's just with like a Clorox wipe, all right? Or if you want to give them a full bath, stick them in some dishwater with your, I use, Dawn dish detergent. If it helps clean up grease from the ocean, it can clean the grease off my dishes, right? So, and off my blocks. All right, so I'm using Pretty Peacock here. Went with the hello friend. I'm gonna stamp this down here. You could use any of these 3 panels. I'm gonna go here on the bottom one. Okay, that came out nice. And I think I have room on that panel. I've got room down here for a baby duck. All right, so let's put the mama on and then you guys can tell me where you want the baby. Now, I think for the mama, I'm gonna trim an edge because her head's just a little bit smaller. All right, she gets a half a dimensional here for her more petite head. All right, here we go. So when you're positioning this, make sure you don't want to overlap that top square. So you want to make sure that she is fully on her own square, okay? All right, so we got mama and daddy. Now, should the baby go on the top? I mean, that is so cute, right? Should she go on the top or should we put the baby on the bottom? Every time I play with this stamp set, it makes me think I had this little game as a kid, I think, small kid. I think I was maybe 4. And I don't remember if it was called Who's My Mom? It was all these little, I don't know if they were ducklings or chicks, but they had the little card pieces that you moved around had magnets in them, and you chase the chicks would like chase the different chickens around or the ducklings would chase the ducks around to find out which magnet matched, which one was the mama. It was, it was the funniest little game. My mom could probably tell you what it is. I don't know if she still has it or not. That was an old game. And I think it was Who's My Mama or something like that. Yep, funniest little games. All right, so let's see. We want duckling. Dora says on top. Luann says below. All right, we need a tiebreaker. All right. Hi, Kathy. Hello, hello. All right, do we want our duckling on top or the little duckling on the bottom? Okay. I've got room for one more comment. I see we've got several viewers, so give me a comment of a top or a bottom so that Doris and Luann don't get mad. All right, good. Phyllis went with top. That broke the tie, so there we go. Sweet. Oh, and then Deborah typed in at the bottom. All right, do we have one more? Well, we still got a tie going then. All right, Polly said top. All right, so it was like 4 tops to 3 bottoms. There we go. So cutest little duckling, the whole family all together there. Cutest little charming duck pond families. All right, and then we've got our little dappled dots. Oh, look at this. I got all kinds of little goslings. Do we need another one? I could do another one. All right, let's see here. I got my little, all right, where do you think it should go? If I do another one, or do you want that one? So we have one on the top and the bottom. All right, that's an option too. Let's see here. Okay, while you guys are deciding if we need another duckling and where it should go, I'm gonna die cut one, okay? I have my full size here, although these dies are small enough that they would fit in the mini as well. Okay, so, oops. Here's my little die. And there's there's my duckling. Aren't they so cute? And I love that you can, of course you can stamp them and color them to make them any colors and patterns you want. You can do the same with the frog. But I love designer series paper. That is my accessory of choice. All right, second one would be cute under mommy's tummy down here. I'm not sure it would fit. Well, okay, so I could layer them. That would be cute, but it has to be on this square in order for the card to open properly. So what do you guys think? Should I layer the little one here on the mama, or should I just do 2? All right, closer to her feet, okay? Over this way a little bit. I'd have to, could kind of cover her feet. Yeah, like that. In the water. Oh, I could do that one. That would be cute. Right down here. And she's saying, come on, catch up. That would be cute. I kind of like the in the water. Great idea, Kathy. All right, let's do that. So we're gonna cut a little edge piece. Half a dimensional is perfect for the little ducklings. All right, good. You like that idea, all of you. Consensus is a little duckling in the water here. All righty, so cute. We got all of our little ducklings here. Now let's see, we've got some of these dapple dots. Maybe we'll do, let's go with pink. Let's go with pink. It brings out some of the pink from the water. And I'm thinking, I've got this little, I don't know, sometimes it's not really it's not glue, it's not ink, it's just a little smudge. So embellishments are a great way to hide any little If you get any little stray ink marks or something that you don't want, we can put a little one up here by Mama, and because we're doing 3, and I've got lots of room down here. All right, let's just do that. We'll balance it out. All right, if Janelle's watching, Janelle likes everything straight and lined up, so that will balance that out. Look at that, we've got a whole fun family of charming ducks all coming out of the pond. They've had their day of swimming, and now they are wrapping it up. All right, so there you go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 panels. Okay, so 4 panel, an accordion folds, all right, up into like a W shape here. And then by using 3 1 3/4 inch squares. All right, so I made sure to use 1 3/4 because that way they both, when you put them top point to point, all right, they fit on the 5 1/4 inch card, as well as when you line them up, you want to make sure they're not hanging over the edge either. So, so the green squares, Granny Apple Green, those are 1 3/4, and then the white squares are 1 1/2. All right, so I'm curious to see what cards you make with this. All right, if you do get crafting and make some, feel free to post them in my JessBCreativeCardiology. I have a customer facing Facebook group that you guys are welcome to share your projects in. Alrighty, I would love to see what you make there. And again, before it is sold out, we have Charming Duck Pond stamps and dies. Again, purchase them separately for the best value while they're on last chance. And we've got the Lily Pond Lane paper and the dappled dots. All right, aren't these cute? Yes, I'm glad I could help you. I was trying to think, I'm like, well, if you measure them point to point, you need the length of the hypotenuse. And I'm like, oh my goodness, unless you enjoy geometry, you're probably not gonna follow that. So I just tell you 1 3/4 inch squares layered with 1 1/2. Well, thank you. It was so nice to have so many of you watching today. If you did enjoy this, don't forget to give my video that heart, right? The thumbs up. And I think most of you who are watching currently are subscribers. But if you are not and you're new to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can, as well as the notification bell so that you can find out when I go live on Tuesdays and Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern. Alrighty, so I hope you enjoyed this. Have fun with your 4-panel accordion fun fold. And I look forward to stamping with you on Tuesday. All right, everybody, take care. Bye-bye.